So guys, we would be discussing another problem from position time graph from ncert book. So the question is, suggest a suitable physical situation for the following graph. So clearly this graph is a xt plot. This is the graph. An object has been at x is equal to 0, moves with a uniform velocity till point A, and it again moves in opposite direction and reaches point B here and continues to stay at point B. So by seeing the xt plot, we could see that the particle was at rest for time prior this. Okay. After this, since it is a straight line, we would say that the particle moved with a uniform velocity until it reached point A. Then he again moved with a uniform velocity to reach point B. But one thing to notice in this graph is the time taken by particle to move from, suppose this is 0 to A. This is the time taken by the particle, and when it comes back, this is the time taken by the particle. So in returning back, the time taken by the particle is more. So the velocity in this case is, during this motion, is less compared to this period of motion. Okay, since we are talking about one dimensional motion, so we have to suggest a physical situation for the following graph. So we would have to search a situation in which a particle was at rest, moves with a uniform velocity to some point, and retraces back with some lesser velocity and moves behind the original position and finally comes to rest. So if we think of a ball which is kept here, and if it is kicked, it starts moving with a uniform velocity, reaches a wall here, okay, and suppose its velocity is u when it hit the wall. Suppose it retraced with velocity v less than u and moves behind its original position and reaches here to second wall, the wall behind the original one, and stays at rest. So this would be like this. A particle had been at rest at this point. This is the ball, had been at rest at this point. It started moving to the point A. The ball, when kicked, started moving with a velocity u to the wall A. It rebounds back from this wall with somewhat lesser velocity v less than u, and moves past its original point here and moves to the wall B. Suppose B is the point at this, and rest after that. This is the position. Okay, we would give another example for this problem. Suppose Sohan and Mohan Sohan and Mohan are two friends. Okay, Sohan and Mohan are two friends. Okay, suppose Sohan home is located at x power x is equal to 0, and this is a xt plot. Sohan was at home at x is equal to 0. Sohan moves to point A at his school. Okay, and without wasting any time, he moves back, and despite stopping at his home, he moves back to Mohan house and keeps on staying there. Suppose here it is Mohan house at B. The location of house position of house is at B here. Okay, so we could see that Sohan was at home till this point. After this point, he started with some velocity and moves towards his school, and from his school he returned back with somewhat lesser velocity, and he does not stop at his home but keeps on moving and reaches to Mohan house and keeps on playing at his house. So his position remains B during this period of time. Hope you have understood the two physical situations of the graph